As a tool, spine can be used on a beginning parallel skier because it helps you go from side to side. It helps the skis go from a wedge to a parallel configuration.
And you're talking about using the spine as the pivot point, correct?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yes.
That's my question.
Great question. Again, the progression that I wrote is more focused to the first year instructor. I had the same thought in mind. Not only skiing off the top of the bump to teach a pole plant right down the spine of that bump, but to teach a parallel turn, as Andy just mentioned. You can also teach retraction turns using the spine, which leads you into bumps on this terrain. So this spine can be used for any level that you desire. But if that's the direction you're going to go and your client is expecting a high-end level lesson, make sure the client, is well aware of the direction that you are heading as a coach and why you're utilizing this terrain. Because this may be the only terrain that we have with that spine feature.
Well, if people are coming up in a herringbone, so I think I heard you saying that the lower portion of the spine will be for downward traffic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What I want to do is I'm ordering 2 signs for herringbone. I'm going to place those signs, and what I want to look at is dropping those 2 signs in place, and please try to use the space in between the signage for the herringbone. Beyond that will be the turning phase of your progression. So it should be safer. The idea is to create a spine that's a couple hundred feet long through there, so we have plenty of opportunity to make turns as we are coming down. And then once we get this bank shaped and that spine coming down, you're going to feel those walls even smoother. If you were not standing over the ball of the foot on that, when it was bermed up on the one side, there were a couple people that had to step their ski to release it instead of twisting their ski to release it. Alright. Did you feel a slight pressure build up underneath the foot? Was it a lot?
No.
No. And it shouldn't be in a gliding wedge. It shouldn't be in a turn until you start increasing speed and the dynamics of the turn. At the bottom of the spine, and the bottom I'm guessing is going to be, and this is just a guess because we have to get a feel for these features, is going to be not the tower gun that's right here, but the next yellow pad up will be somehow the termination point. Then from there down, we're going to have a series of rollers in here. The top of the roller, to Andy's point, is the apex of the turn. And then you're dropping down into a steeper section, and that's where you have to really key in on twisting the leg to start slowing down before they start coming up the next part of the face of the next roller. At the face of the next roller, if you turn too much, you slow down and stop. If you turn at the right time, you release and go. If you turn or release too early, you increase speed. So it's a great way to play with dirt, duration, intensity, rate, and timing of the movement patterns to really figure out where they're comfortable with momentum, when to release it to get up and over the next bump. Okay? It also familiarizes people with this, a 3-dimensional playing field instead of just a flat area. So therefore, in theory, and again, this is just theory since we're on tape, in theory, we should have people progressing to moguls and ungroomed conditions faster. So you're going to see a series of rollers in here, you're going to see a series of rollers in here, and you're going to see another series of rollers on the adult carpet down there. But again, the apex of the turn, the farthest outreach of the skis, is at the top of that wave, if you will. The waves are going to be this high. Come on, a little chuckles. Down to my Percy Bob. There we go. Okay. The idea is that we keep these rollers a foot to 18 inches. That's all we need up in this part and on the lower part. Down here they may be a little bit deeper to try to contain some of that speed or control some of that speed. The other piece that's great about this terrain is that we have the counter slope right after it. And it's okay to coach to that. If you're getting scared, if your student is getting scared, it's okay to coach, listen gang, drive them right up towards those trees, you're gonna stop. All right? That's gonna be groomed. Okay? Skis to the trees. That's a great piece of language.
Yeah,
Skis to the trees.
Skis to the trees. You need like a bank or something shaped over there?
Right in towards the trees.
Right to the
That's
trees.
all gonna be groomed out. And I want it groomed out at a lower transition to fill in that that transitional period, so we're not coming dead to a stop, but we slow into that area. Then they may slide backwards just a touch.
That's a good point, Mike. You guys have all, I mean, the way that sort of runout's going to happen down there, for those of you that have taught, I think a great place to take people their first introduction to the steeper terrain is East Ridge.
Right.
Because all those runs have a steepness, but they all have a runout.
Yes.
And it gives everybody this mental, you know, if everything else goes to, you know what, I still have an ability to stop myself. I think you'll find the same
Who's
thing.
coming down there from the left when the